Hey, this is Chris from Rekkid Talk, and so we're going to do 5 records in 5 minutes from 5 more of the United States. And so we're going to start with the state of Montana. And so Steve Albini spent his adolescence in Montana. His family had moved to Missoula up in northwestern Montana, where University of Montana is located. Then eventually he went to college at Northwestern near Chicago, and that's where he remained. So we're going to go with Billings, Montana, Spurge, the self-titled / Purple Cow on their own Bingo Lady Records. So this is sort of funk rock from the grunge era. So think it's sort of like Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's sort of like Faith No More. And so this was a band that pretty much I saw them play several times in the early 90s. If it was all local bands, they'd be the opener. If somebody was traveling in, they would be the opener rather than the headliner. When it was local bands, they'd be the headliner. Craziest show I ever saw in my life at a place called the Filling Station in Bozeman, Montana. Spurge opening for Love Battery. And so next state is the state of Nebraska. So, of course, I already ripped Kansas for being flat and boring, and you're saying, well, maybe Nebraska's flat and boring as well. Maybe we've got some cool free jazz from Omaha, or we got some grindcore going on in Kearney, or something going on in North Platte, or maybe it's just polka, but no, it's Matthew Sweet. It's 100% fun. How can I use Matthew Sweet here? Well, he was born and raised in Lincoln, Nebraska. Before I think he relocated to Athens, Georgia in the 1980s. And of course, was most noted for sort of his commercial breakthrough in the 90s with his jangly power poppy alt rock 100% Fun from 1995. You've got some Richard Lloyd playing some guitar on many of the tracks here. Sick of Myself is probably the famous one. All right, let's move on to Nevada, however you want to say it. So, of course, this is a state known for Las Vegas. It's known for gambling. It's known for Area 51. You think I could come up with somebody cool and obscure, but no, let's just go for the cheesy route. And so let's go with Liberace. And so I have this old Liberace extended play. So it's a two 45s from the early 1950s. I believe it's from 1952. Orchestra under the direction of George Liberace, which would be the more famous Liberace's brother. And so there's a Liberace Museum in Las Vegas. I never went to it. The former location of the Liberace Museum, it was located very near the former location of the Pinball Hall of Fame, which I would go to because it was a fun-based place to go play pinball machines. New Hampshire. New Hampshire is another difficult small state. I mean, Ronnie James Dio was born there, but he's not really associated with it. The Shags are from there, but it's not like I actually ever listened to the Shags. So we're going to go with the John Spencer Blues Explosion because I read that John Spencer's from there. So I got this 1995 CD, so just like my Matthew Sweet, my Spurge from the early 90s as well. So a lot of beat-up stuff from the 90s, and then the Liberace Outlier, experimental remixes. So you've got remixes of some of their existing songs. So you got some dancey, hip-hoppy stuff going on with the John Spencer Blues Explosion. Final state we're going to do today is the state of New Jersey. So, of course, we could go the completely obvious route. I could show you some Bon Jovi, but instead, we're going to harken back. We're going to kind of mix Nevada with another state, and so we're going to mix it with the state of Nebraska. And so there was a singer-songwriter from the state of New Jersey. Guy's name is Bruce Springsteen. You may have heard of him. And so one of his noteworthy albums, of course, was the Nebraska album from 1982. Of course, Atlantic City is in New Jersey.